and welcome back to our channel. Today we have brought you a video on IELTS Writing Task 2 as a part of our ongoing IELTS video lesson series. And the center of study for this video would be how to write and format an argumentative essay. So let's start. As we know that Writing Task 2, essay writing is the major task in the IELTS writing test, which lasts for 40 minutes, and the objective is crystal clear, as the name suggests, which is to write an essay on the given topic having at least 250 words. But we need to understand that different task types require varying layouts and structures to be answered perfectly. Some essay types might require only 4 paragraphs, while some will need 5. Such discrepancy in structure can be a primary cause of confusion among the test takers, so it is necessary to be familiar with the format for each essay question type. Hence, we have brought you this video lesson. In this lesson, we will be learning how to respond to argumentative essay question types. But the first question is, what exactly are argumentative essays? Let's take a look at a sample question to understand them better. Government should spend more money on railways than roadways. Do you agree or disagree? This is an argumentative question type. For ease, you can also call it an agree or disagree essay question. The first thing to do when we come across an essay question is to understand the rubrics. Government should spend more money on railways than roadways is the topic. And our task is to tell the examiner whether we agree with this perception or disagree. Such a question where we simply have to pick one side requires 4 paragraphs. An introduction, 2 bodies and a conclusion at the end. For your convenience, we have mentioned the ideal word count against each paragraph type for this question. Remember, this word count is only applicable to agree-disagree questions. Now it is time to dig in and understand the internal structure of each paragraph to have a decent overall progression in the essay. The introduction will begin with a paraphrase statement. Paraphrasing is rewriting a given statement in a new way, but the meaning remains the same. If you haven't watched the video lesson on paraphrasing, please do. So just paraphrase the topic and the first sentence for the intro would be done. Next, we will write a question reference. This statement answers the task. Or you can say we need to refer to the question to write this statement. In this case, the question is, do you agree or disagree? Just write the response, I agree or disagree with the notion, whatever you believe. And finally comes the thesis statement. This statement sort of gives the reader an overview of the essay. Since the question has asked for our agreement or disagreement, the thesis statement would be, my inclination has been justified in the following paragraphs. Or you could write, my position has been elucidated further. There are many ways to write a thesis statement. Alright, now that is end of the introduction and it should be written within 35 to 45 words. Next is body 1. Here we will write the details and reasons for our agreement or disagreement with the premise. But again, there is a way to do that. We need to start off with a linker such as to begin with or at the outset. They both mean the same. You could use any. Then we state the supporting ideas or reasons. We can include 2 to max 3 supporting ideas in one body paragraph for this question type. Finally, we will close body 1 with an example. This example would help illustrate the last supporting idea we have presented in the body. Make sure the example you give is not personal. It must be generic in nature. Body 1 should have 90 to 110 words. Then comes body 2. The structure is absolutely the same, but linker will change. Since you have already started presenting your arguments in body 1, you can't use it to begin with here. Instead, we could use moreover, in addition to this, besides this, or maybe furthermore to show the continuation of the ideas. The rest of the structure remains the same. And yes, one important note, when we say structure, we mean the format. We don't mean the ideas. Ideas have to be new. We can't repeat ideas or borrow ideas from body 1. Doing this would adversely affect the task response parameter. Body 2 should also have 90 to 110 words. At last, we have a conclusion. It also begins with a linker which signals to sum up. We could use to sum up, to conclude, or to recapitulate if somebody is into fancy words. Then 1 or 2 sentences containing the summary of what was mentioned in body 1 and 2 Make sure you don't repeat the words in the conclusion which were used earlier. The conclusion should have around 30 to 40 words. Now, the theme or main idea of the body paragraphs for this question type would entirely rely on your inclination. For instance, if you agree, then both bodies will talk about agreement since you completely agree with the topic. And the same is true if you disagree. No rocket science here, very simple stuff. Now, it is time to make things more interesting. Let us introduce you to another kind of argumentative essay question. As you can see here, the topic is the same, but the task has slightly changed. Now it says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? The question doesn't demand a full agreement or disagreement, but rather need us to pick a side partially. This essay question type is a little tricky. Such a question would need 5 paragraphs to be answered, and the word count for each individual paragraph has been projected for your reference. Now, let's take a look at the changes which to what extent has introduced to the internal structure of paragraphs. When the question changes to what extent, there would obviously be a change in the introduction, especially the question reference statement. Now we need to write, I agree or disagree to a large extent, or I partially agree or disagree. Rest remains the same. Now, if you partially agree with the notion here, the first 2 body paragraphs will talk about your side, but the third body will contain ideas from the opposite view. Body 1 and 2 will be in disagreement and body 3 will be in agreement. Since body 1 and 2 do not show major changes, let's learn the internal structure of body 3. Linker for this body will be used to show contradiction. We can use however, although, on the contrary, and so on. The rest of the structure remains the same. In the case of conclusion, now we will be acknowledging body 3 as well. So the statements would be a summary of body 1, body 2 and body 3. No other changes are needed here. Alright. So that's how we format an argumentative essay depending on its task. Active reading is the key here. If one misreads the question, the whole response could be framed incorrectly. Also, practice is the key, like we always say. Practice writing using the layouts learned today and soon essays will not be a problem. You can try writing a response to the sample question using the format we learned today, and please don't forget to share your response in the comment section. Hope you found this video helpful. See you next time. Thank you for watching.